Ireland, a country blessed with stunning scenery and fascinating stories to be told. We love a castle, and Ireland is blessed with hundreds of them. Ruins and crumbling towers, neo-Gothic structures and medieval fortresses pepper the landscape. There's rich history at every turn, and these are badges of a nation's heritage. It's no wonder the Irish have a reputation for romance if we get to call places like this home. Ireland, a place where anything is possible, even owning a castle.
So, this is what people who look for castles come to me and expect.
Helen Cassidy runs an agency that specialises in this very particular kind of property. She sells castles.
People get very passionate about them, and you can really feel their hearts are pounding when they arrive and look at a tower house such as this and feel, yes, perhaps it could be mine. You know, it's a wonderful address. My castle in Ireland.
It's not every estate agent who investigates murder holes.
Essentially, you could pour boiling oil and deter anyone who had evil intent coming towards you.
Or clambers down into dungeons.
So I've been requested to take some photos of the stonework. I'm sure it was a rather grim life if you were imprisoned here.
But that's part of the job for Helen.
I have a huge passion for Irish history, and the fact that I can actually make my living, hopefully, out of selling them is a wonderful thing.
Castles come in all shapes and sizes, and with ancient Irish history, one of invasion and settlement, Helen is kept busy.
This is a 15th century tower house. The Great Hall historically would have been used by the Lord and his family. When you look up at the gallery here, you would have had your poets, your bards, your musicians entertaining the people down here. And I don't think I've ever brought anybody into this room without them going, oh, wow.
With centuries of heritage at her feet,
we're looking in the region of €750,000 for this property. It's absolutely gorgeous.
There's something out there for pretty much everyone.
I deal in dreams. They want a fantasy to become a reality. And I hope that the starting point for them is in contacting me and looking at what I have on offer.
Helen's diary is packed with people all wanting their own rather grand corner of Ireland.
And then on the third floor, you're looking at your drawing room, dining room, yes, which is really pretty. Okay, so here's where you were defending your castle from attack. Isn't it fantastic?
Wonderful view.
Yeah. They say that Cromwell stayed here.
Really?
Well, they say that about very many castles, I guess. My job is very different. It's extremely interesting. I really never know what's going to happen next.
One of the most spectacular castles on Helen's books is found in County Offaly. 14th century Cloghan Castle is a national historical monument set within 157 acres, boasting 3 private gardens, 80,000 trees, and come the winter floods, a 7-mile-long wildlife sanctuary. This will make someone a pretty unique home.
Hello, James. You're very welcome to Cloghan Castle.
Thank you, thank you. Lovely to see it now. It's a beautiful place, but you, of course, sell castles.
Indeed, I do.
I mean, they dotted all over the place.
There's supposed to be about 3,000 castles in Ireland.
Is there much call for...
Demand for castles?
Demand, yeah.
Yes, there is. My buyers tend to be, let's say, Americans with connections somehow or other, and Irish people as well.
Mm. Are they varied, the castles? I mean, do they come in all sizes? I mean, when we think of a castle, we just think of something very similar to this, you know, towers, turrets.
They can be nice and small too, and they can be nice and cheap.
Really?
I mean, my cheapest castle is about €75,000, and we'll do a deal on that.
Now, this one here is also for sale.
Indeed. This is a very, very important and historic castle, Cloghan Castle, in terms of being a mystical, real, true Irish castle that has seen bloodshed and murder and history and the whole show. This is it. Doesn't get much better than this.
How much is this going for?
I'm guiding in the region of €1.3 million.
All right.
So it's very reasonable. It's very affordable.
I can see that. Well, perhaps maybe you'll give me a bit of a show around.
You certainly can.
Fantastic.
Have you brought your checkbook?
Oh, dear, that'll bounce. Oh, wow.
So now we're in the Great Hall, which is
a castle.
a pretty impressive room, as you can tell. And this would date, we think, from about the 1600s, 1650s.
It was built by...
Owen O'Madden, who was one of our great chiefs,
Yes.
our great Irish chiefs. So he had gone on the Crusades with his father, which is amazing when you think that he brought back all the ideas about a defensive castle from the Crusades, built his own castle, and as years went on, these extensions
Yes.
would have dated
The
from,
castle.
obviously they're younger.
It's very imposing, all right. Great, well, let's have a further look round.
Okay, James, these are the spiral staircases, which there was a great game plan here on how they constructed them. It was always favouring whether the swordsman who constructed the castle was left-handed or right-handed. Oh. And so your guys behind you, you're attacking them as you're retreating backwards. There was also, if you look here, there's a little trip here. Now, again, as the person who owns the castle, you would know where that chip would be, and so he would alter his movement to make sure that he could correct. However, the guy behind you is going to get stabbed by your sword because he doesn't know that.
Sly.
Very sly.
This is no 2 up, 2 down. Along with the Great Hall, you'll get a dining room, drawing room, and even a courtroom. Well, who hasn't wanted one of those?
So what is it that attracts people to the idea of buying a place like
that
this?
appeals to them.
Yeah.
It's a sense of safety, of security. I find when someone has asked me a lot of information about a castle and then comes to visit, when they're standing in the castle, you can feel this strength, you know, and confidence that comes to people. Again, it's not a lot of people who come to buy castles, so I'm not kind of selling a castle every day. I wish I was. Yeah. But about 3% of the buying population are interested in castles.
And is it the very rich? Sometimes you just have it as a kind of a hobby or something to show off, or people are actually coming to live here?
People come to live. Mostly it's people who come to live. And they're a very determined bunch. And they usually have the heart of a lion.
Right.
You're king of your own castle.
Oh, no.
It's magic.
And it is a magical place.
So are you tempted?
Well, my girls would love it, I think.
Yeah, I'd say they could feel very at home here. And when you think of it, it's a good address for a script to be sent to.
Yes, no, indeed. Brilliant. An Englishman's home might be his castle, but an Irishman's castle is his home.
From land to sea, from pastoral pleasures to grand designs, there's a place for everything and everyone in this wonderful land.